going on
Is it
with
some
you?
initiation
They say
test or something?
syndicates of
I heard that thieves broke into the Arcane University, the Imperial Legion compound, and the temple all on the same night. Wait a minute, let me do that one again. I heard that...
Do you ever wonder why things look better without their skin on?
We are so back. Block in the original game was regarded as one of the most useless skills, rivaled only by athletics. You could block to disarm an enemy, and that was pretty much it. But the remaster brought with it a complete rework of some of these skills with entirely new perks. Not only is blocking now more effective due to the stamina changes, but it even does damage when you shield bash. Now, I'm not entirely sure if anyone tested this perk before they released the game, because
it's entirely broken.
I see all sorts of videos on overpowered stealth archers and min-maxed mage builds, but no one is talking about how satisfying it is to one-shot a goblin by breaking every bone in its body with a 3-inch thick piece of cold rolled steel. In this video, I'll show you not only how to make the strongest shield bash build possible, but I'll also be beating the game from start to finish using only this new mechanic to deal damage. Let's jump on in and make our character. My adventure begins, as all do, with character creation. I'm playing an orc primarily because Berserk is a great damage boost. However, before one can wield the shield, they must first become the shield. If you hit that man in the face with a weapon, it's gonna bounce right off. I can't deal damage until block hits 75, so I'm gonna make like a banana and get the fuck out of here. I manage to meet back up with the blades, and the Emperor delivers his iconic line.
Hamburger.
I'm making a custom class, of course, but the only important skills are block, alchemy, and restoration. Everything else is dealer's choice. When I finally breach the sewers, I waste no time starting to farm my block. If you gather all the bandits in the ruin right outside of spawn, you can turn down the difficulty to stop them from dealing virtually any damage. Normally, you would sit here and let them beat you senseless until your shield is maxed out, but the archers forgot to turn off friendly fire. This really isn't very optimal now that they're all dead, so I loot up and head for Haunted Mine right outside of Leyawen. Deep in the bowels of this cave is a cute little rat farm and a metric ton of goblins. If you position yourself just right, the archer will once again kill all his friends. In this exact position, the archer can't hit any of the rats, so now we wait. The wiki says this goes faster if you block with your hands, but to be honest, I didn't really notice a difference. After about an hour, it finally hit 75. At 75, you unlock the shield bash that deals damage and stuns the enemy, but at 100 is when it pushes the damage even further, and that's what I'm looking for. Around 90 block, I remembered I hadn't saved my game in some time. Not even joking, as soon as that save went through, my game crashed. Thankfully, 15 years of Bethesda games has given me a sixth sense, and I can smell a crash right before it happens. After a few more nibbles, block finally hits 100. I've taken so much damage that my character's skin looks like chainmail. But because I was wearing heavy armor, all those millions of little rat bites also maxed out my heavy armor. I switched the difficulty back to adept and head out to find some proper armor. The legendary warrior Umbra resides here at Vindicel, and she's not only wearing full ebony armor, but also has an ebony shield. Most people would drag her back to the city to die at the hands of the guards, but not me. I like to get up close and personal with a razor blunt object.
You'll never take me down!
Okay, she's admittedly pretty tough, but one of the main reasons this build is so broken is because of the stun that comes with Shield Bash. If you time it just right, most enemies won't even have a chance to attack. That's a dead Umbra at level 1. Now, because loot is leveled in Oblivion, it's really only the same stats as Orcish armor, but you know what, I'll take it. Now, you could just beat the game at level 1 with this ridiculous damage scaling, but what's the fun in that? After a quick nap, my strength and endurance are at 100 100, and the shield is officially level 17. I might as well go ahead and start the storyline now. Even against high-level Daedra, I'm just cleaning up like no one's business, and while you may think this is the pinnacle of what the shield build offers, you could not be more wrong, but we'll get there. At the top of the tower, I saved my game before looting the Oblivion Stone. If you don't like the one you get, just reload the game until you find what you're looking for. After a few tries, I got the Fortify Strength enchantment and put it on my armor. Once inside of Kvatch, I found Lord Eddard Stark, and I gotta be honest, I fangirled for a moment.
I heard about how you helped the guard drive the Daedra back. Well done.
I just wanted to, okay, I'm just gonna shut up. Things were going pretty good until we opened the gates to the courtyard. At some point, I was just so covered in the bodies of Daedra, it felt like the Battle of the Bastards from Game of Thrones. Yes, that's 2 Game of Thrones references in one video. You're welcome. At some point, I couldn't even attack these 2 spider Daedra because the bodies had piled so high. Having a rare big brain moment, I somehow found the hatch, went in, and those goofy girls followed after me. Kvatch has been saved. What's left of it, at least. Let's go drop off Martin at daycare, and then it's time to break the build even more. Restoration is so much more than healing spells, to the point that it's an auto-include for every character I've made so far. While grinding it, I started the Mages Guild quest to get access to the spellcrafting altar at the Arcane University.
I'm afraid your journey ends here, traveler.
During the Chaden Hall quest, I noticed that my character was too big to fit through this doorway, effectively locking me out of the quest. Thankfully, someone on Reddit found a fix where you just exit the game while in the well, then reload. I love that they even remastered the game-breaking bugs. How kind of them. By the time I finished the rest and go to the spellcrafting altar, restoration had hit 75. In the prior game, when you would cast a spell, it would give you a set amount of XP regardless of its strength. But now with the new magic leveling system, it is so much easier. Just craft the best spell you possibly can, cast it, then wait an hour for your magicka to refill, and before long, I'm finally at 100 restoration. Now, from the rigorous amounts of testing I've done, it appears that the formula for calculating shield bash damage looks at 3 different things. The first is your block skill to a maximum of 100. Even if you push this further than 100, it won't increase your damage. The second is the quality of shield, such as iron, ebony, or daedric. I thought that maybe the damage would scale with how much armor is provided by the shield, so I maxed out Armorer by casting Disintegrate Armor on myself and repairing the damage with repair hammers. The new Armorer perks lets you repair beyond 100% and even gives a buff to your weapons and armor. Much to my chagrin, my shield bash was doing the same amount of damage, but at least we have more damage resistance. The last factor when determining shield bash damage is how high your strength is. My strength, of course, is already maxed out at 100, but by using these very broken restoration spells, you can push it even further. And for some reason, this damage does scale even beyond 100. So if I craft a Fortify Strength spell and cast it, I can layer on Berserk for 50 more strength, and of course the increased strength from any enchanted gear. As the cherry on top, you can stack different Fortify Strength spells on top of each other as long as you have the magic to cast them. If you set this up just right, you can create a rotation of spells that pushes your strength to a ridiculous number. Right now, I'm at roughly 328, and this is the sort of damage my shield bash is doing. Okay, let's give it our best. Oh my god. 2, 3. A Storm Atronach has 350 health, meaning I'm doing over 100 damage per shield bash. But once again, this isn't even the pinnacle of how stupid this can get. But first, let's go find some in-game gear. With all this skill grinding, my character is officially at level 25, meaning the best gear possible in the game can now spawn. If you go to the Roxy Inn just outside of the Imperial City, the characters inside have leveled gear equipped. This means I only need to kill this gentleman wearing full Daedric armor, then pay off my bounty from the guards. For some reason, he didn't have a shield, so I found Boethiah's shrine, and one after another Fiverr took down all of her champions. Thankfully, the last one had exactly what I was looking for. Then I stole some soul gems and enchanted all my gear with Fortify Strength and Fortify Magicka. I even made a more optimal rotation of spells, and now I'm 3-shotting the Imperial Guards. This may not seem that crazy, but these guys have some incredibly high damage resistance from all that heavy armor they're wearing. Before I finish breaking this build completely, let's go have some fun. I started the arena quest, only to realize this is way too easy and not exactly engaging.
You want to be a combatant? Look at you! My granny could beat you, and she's dead.
Also, for some reason, this brazier doesn't have physics anymore. This used to be kind of a ritual to jump up and hit it after every match. 0 out of 10 remake, just saying. To give myself a bit more of a challenge, I even turned the difficulty to master for the fight with the Grey Prince. Again, the stun is just too good. I mean, this poor guy didn't stand a chance. Maybe the main quest will prove to be a bit more engaging. After meeting up with Boris, I hunted down the 4 copies of the Mythic Dawn books. This led me to a cave full of the cultists, and without armor on, they are dropping like flies. Mankar Cameron made his escape to paradise, but was dumb enough to leave behind the Mysterium Xarxes. While Martin taps into the secrets of this dangerous book, I went and hunted down some spies. By the time I got back, he asked for a Daedric artifact, and thankfully I still have Goldbrand from doing Boethia's quest. This next part of the story has me fighting ghosts, who are my biggest weakness since they completely negate all physical damage. But I have one more trick up my sleeve to give this build the final push it needs to reach its pinnacle. Alchemy is yet another skill that has so much versatility I couldn't imagine not using it. Let's grind it to 100 and see what stupidly overpowered potions I can make. The normal way to do this would be picking all the grapes and tomatoes outside of Skingrad to make potions. Then wait for 3 days and they'll respawn. However, the duplication glitch has somehow survived and made it into the remaster. With that kind of staying power, it's no longer a glitch, okay? It's a feature. Just find a container and empty its contents, then place one item that you want to duplicate inside. I'm playing on PC, so I just move over a large stack of objects over the item and spam the enter button. If done correctly, you should see the duplicated items in your inventory. This allows me to farm alchemy to 100 in no time. To make the strongest potions possible, I headed to the Ayleid ruin of Kayatatar. Just southwest of the ruin's entrance is a hatch that leads straight to the 2 boss chests where the master alchemy pieces will spawn. Save your game before you enter the hatch, then once you're in, turn left and press this button. Then you just check all the chests in the room, including the one near the exit. If you don't find the pieces you need, simply reload the game. If you do happen to find one of the 4 pieces you need, just wait outside for 3 days and everything will respawn. Funny enough, in the original game, you would spawn behind the rock wall and only have access to the 1 boss chest. But in the remaster, you spawn in the main room, giving you access to all the other copious amounts of loot. Maybe the devs knew how great of a spot this was for farming and they changed the spawn on purpose. After about 20 minutes, I've farmed all 4 master alchemy pieces and it's time to make some potions. I just need 2 ingredients with Fortify Strength and 2 with Restore Magicka to make this absolute abomination. The effects of potions stack, meaning if I slam just 4 of these bad boys, I've got insane magicka regen and a beautiful boost of 180 strength. In theory, you could even do the potion stacking bug that allows you to drink even more potions, but for me, this is plenty. Now that I have seemingly unlimited magicka regen, I can make better Fortify Strength spells that last longer and hit harder. Let's break down the rotation. I start by drinking 4 of my potions, then I stack 4 Fortify Strength spells, all of which have a duration of roughly 60 seconds. And lastly, I cast Berserk. With the boost from my armor, I'm sitting at a stunning 767 strength. This allows me to easily one-shot most things in the game with no problems. The buffs stick around for a while as well, meaning you only need to stack this 2 or 3 times per dungeon. But you may be wondering, how does this allow me to defeat ghost enemies with their ridiculous 100% resistance to physical damage? Well, there is one last item I need to complete the build, and unfortunately, it all relies on RNG. There's a scroll that most of you probably haven't even heard of because it's insanely rare. It's called Weakness to Normal Weapons, and when an enemy is hit with this, it decreases their resistance to all forms of physical damage by 20%. That of course includes our shield bash. This scroll has no guaranteed spawn, meaning I'm back at the Ayleid ruin farming the chests once again. I spent an entire day trying to find this scroll, just looting and looting and looting. I found weakness to poison, fire, ice, shock, and damn near every scroll and item in the game. I was starting to think that it didn't even actually exist, or maybe it just hadn't been ported to the remaster. I'm not exaggerating, after 7 hours of looking for this scroll, I was ready to throw in the towel. That is, until I walked into Mystic Emporium. He was just selling it this whole time. It's not a guaranteed spawn, but anyone looking for this scroll in the future, just cycle his inventory every 3 days. Of course, I only have one, so using the duplication feature, I now have all I'll ever need. Using this, my potions, and all my buffs, I'm finally one-shotting the Imperial Guards. This also means I can damage the copious amounts of gloom wraiths residing in Tiber Septim's tomb. With his armor obtained, Martin sends me after a Great Welkin Stone. Before doing the quest, I learned that using the Drain Block spell, I could pay a trainer for 5 skill points. Once the spell wears off, I've effectively pushed my block past 100. I spent another 5 or 6 hours grinding minor and major skills so I could level up and reset the trainers. After I don't know, 16 levels, I raised my block all the way to 185. And this is where I learned that no matter how high your block is, the damage is capped when the skill reaches 100. No problem though, I'm still absolutely decimating everything I come across. The last few missions of the main story are approaching, and to prove just how overpowered this shield build is, I'll be doing arguably the hardest missions in the game on Master difficulty. At this point, everyone's heard about how stupid the balancing is for Master difficulty. It's virtually unplayable. All enemies get a ×6 bonus to their damage, and my damage is cut down to 1/6 of what it normally would be. But the shield knows no fear, it fears no man, and it fears no gods. It just bonks. As Daedra come pouring from the mouth of Oblivion, I steal my resolve and literally push them back. As predicted, it's taking more than just a few smacks to kill them, but it's a lot more fun than just one-shotting everything. I did, however, run into a bit of an issue with the Storm Atronachs. Yeah, turns out their reflect damage enchantment they have is barely noticeable on Adept, but on Master, it's returning a portion of my damage right back at me with a 6x multiplier. I can normally manage by just smacking a few times then retreating to heal up. I found an interesting bug along the way. For some reason, this guy just won't take any damage, but he can fall off the ledge. And he followed me inside. Very cool. Turns out, you're on a timer to close the Great Gate, and if I stop to kill each enemy, I'll never make it in time. Once the stone is in my possession, Martin prepares the portal to Paradise. Yeah, it's just a bunch of Storm Atronachs. If I had known this ahead of time, I would have just crafted a better healing spell. After killing the Gatekeeper and making my way through the cave system, I'm ready to fight Mankar Cameron. As it just so happens, he also has reflect damage, and his is much higher. Thank God for acrobatics. I can just smack him a few times, then jump back and forth while I heal. I think stunning him just completely breaks his AI, because he sort of just stood there the whole time. But funny enough, he didn't really need to attack. I was doing a good enough job killing myself. Cameron eventually falls to the might of the shield build, and Paradise comes crumbling down around me. The last mission of the story just has me witnessing Martin's ascension as the new emperor, then escorting him to the Temple of the One. I tried to fight all the Daedra along the way, but no matter what I do, Martin just ends up dying. So I rush the temple and bear witness as Martin takes on the form of Akatosh and defeats Mehrunes Dagon. God, this looks so good. Now I'm not quite done yet, but that is the end of the main quest. I successfully beat it by only using my shield bash. There is still one last way to push the damage on this build further, and now that the story is complete, I'd like to showcase it while actually using a proper weapon. When your blade skill hits 100, your power attacks apply that same weakness to normal weapons, except I think it's a whopping 30% instead of the 20 we get from the scroll. If you layer both, you're looking at a beefy 50% increase to your damage. But that's not all. Someone has found a method for giving yourself practically infinite magicka. Shout out to Misleading. I found this by watching his video, which is linked in the description. With that infinite mana, I can now cast 7 maxed out Fortify Strength spells, all with slightly differing durations. Mixed with the overpowered potions, my strength is now over 1,000 for about 2 minutes. If I hit this troll with the scroll, then apply the debuff with a power attack from a bladed weapon, it's like I'm playing on Adept again. Just for comparison, I have a Daedric longsword, which does scale with strength, blade 100, and even has a very good enchantment on it. With the same setup, I'm not dealing even a fraction of what I was before, plus I'd have to keep my weapon enchantment up. This goes to prove that the Shield Bash is indeed one of the highest damage scaling attacks in the entire game. I hope you give the build a try. This was incredibly fun to play, and it really spices things up. But that's pretty much it. If you found a way to break this even further, please leave a comment and let me know. I'd love to see if I missed anything. I've got more Oblivion videos in the works as well, so if you enjoyed your time here, be sure to like and subscribe. Huge shout out to the members. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. If you're interested in becoming a member, check the description for more details. I'll see you all in the next one. Later.